Brought to you by JEGS.
Hey, welcome back everybody. Got a quick review to go over today with you guys, and we'll actually get to apply this one, take a look at how it works a little later. But this is a valve spring compressor from Proform. Take a look at what we got going on inside here. So, nothing fancy. This isn't like one of the cool air-powered ones like you guys probably see the guys at your machine shop have. But for as often as I use a valve spring compressor, I think this is about all we need. It's nice heavy-duty steel construction. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, pretty much everything you need, nothing that you don't need. So yeah, there's a couple different positions. Looks like there's a quick release pin here you can move for a bigger or smaller cylinder head configuration. And yeah, just slide back and forth like that. Reset your pin. And yeah, then looks like yeah, this end is actually where the valve, the top end would be on your where your valve spring retainer would seat, so you can get to the locks and everything. And then this nice rubber coated stopper on the other end will engage the bottom of the header at the valve. So I'll come right back. Let's grab a cylinder head and we'll try this guy out and see how it works. Okay, so we got our newly freshened Buick Grand National cylinder head here. We'll see some more videos on this guy a little later when we go to install these to our Buick. But anyway, like I was saying, you'd put the, yeah, I've already pre-adjusted the length to this, so we don't have to kind of fool around with that. But you're just going to set the rubber stopper right kind of centered on the bottom of your valve that you want to take the retainer off of. And then I'll spin this around so you can see the keepers and everything there. I'll try to center that end as well a little bit better so we don't damage our retainers or our locks. And then you just kind of squeeze this lever, and as you can see, it gives you access to these keepers. Pull those out. Then you can let go of this slowly and it will decompress that valve spring. Okay. And then you can drop the retainer on the table like that. Not really. If I was doing this on the workbench where I'm not posing for the camera, I think that would have been easier. Pull the retainer out. Or sorry, pull the valve spring out. And then yeah, you have access to your valve. You can pull that out and move about your way. So yeah, I think it's a good quality piece. It works pretty straightforward and simple. It looks like a good solid design. I mean, you know, all the corners are gusseted up, and you know, this construction looks pretty solid. So I think I'll have this guy for quite a while. I don't do a lot of cylinder head stuff where I'm tearing down heads, but I guess, you know, now that I'm in a claimer class, I might be needing to do this more often and update valve springs or something. When I get my junkyard engines and put just a camshaft in them or something. So pretty happy with the Proform valve spring compressor. Seems like a good straightforward piece of shop equipment. So thumbs up in my book. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for updates on new reviews and parts. And yeah, thanks for watching. Alright, well, we've shown you how to take apart a valve spring and valve. Let's show you how to put one back together. So we've got our intake valve here. We'll set the spring back down the spring seat. Make sure there's no crud and make sure everything's nice and straight in there. Position our valve spring compressor. that nice and centered. Get good and centered on the bottom of the intake valve. Ooh, we moved our top by accident there. There we go. Slowly compress everything. Make sure we're not getting caught on the valve like we are right there. There we go. And take our keepers. That's interesting. You guys probably can't see this from up there, but right here is a little piece of powder coat that I just knocked off the edge of the the compressor. So watch for that. Some of that new powder coat's pretty thick in some spots and it chips off of there rather easily. So that could be a point of contamination that you don't really want to contend with. So we'll get our keepers up in here. It's probably a better way to do this with some sticky oil or something to help hold these in here, but I'll just wing it here for sake of demonstration. Okay, we've got them pretty centered on there. Slowly release our valve spring and watch these fall out. Let's try again. There we go. And there you have it. Install it back together. I'll double check, make sure there's no other contamination from the valve spring compressor getting stuck in here, but there we go. Yeah, for you guys that aren't so familiar with Buick V6 heads, these come from the factory with a stock shaft rocker system, so that's what these big things are. They kind of get in the way of the valve spring compressor when you set the top end on the retainer there and start squeezing down, so you got to really watch that on these Buick heads. But for the more normal small block Chevy stuff, and I don't know if anybody actually runs Fords or not, but whatever. Yeah, you'll have a lot more room and should be a lot more straightforward. So there you have it.
Brought to you by JEGS.
Lifetime support. Complete customer satisfaction. Delivering performance since 1960.
JEGS.com.